Hello everyone, if you are studying IGCSE Computer Science 0478 Paper 1, this video series will help you revise each topic more easily. We'll go through chapters 1 to 6, practice questions like those from the past papers. This will help you understand the types of questions you will see in the exam and how to answer them. These videos are designed to support your learning, build your confidence, and help you to get best grades you can. So let's get started and make your revision count. In this session, we'll be reviewing past paper questions on key topics such as primary storage, secondary storage, virtual memory, and network hardware. So let's get started. Topic 21, data storage. Types of storage. Question 231, state two main categories of computer storage. So number one is primary storage and number two is called the secondary storage. Question 232, state three types of secondary storage devices. So number one, we have magnetic storage. Number two, we have solid state or SSD storage. And number three is optical storage. Primary storage. Which statement is correct about RAM? Option A, it is not directly accessible by the CPU. Option B, it is non-volatile storage. Option C, it stores data that is currently in use. And option D, it stores the bootloader. The correct answer is option C, it stores the data that is currently in use. Question 235, describe what happens to the data stored in the RAM when the power is turned off. So data stored in the RAM is lost when power is turned off because RAM is a volatile memory. Question 236, explain three ways that RAM is different to ROM. RAM is a volatile memory, meaning its content are lost when the power is turned off, where ROM is non-volatile memory, meaning its content are retained when the power is turned off. RAM is read and write memory, allowing data to be changed, whereas ROM is read-only memory, meaning data cannot be changed during the normal operation. RAM is used to store programs and data currently in use by the CPU, whereas ROM is used to store the boot-up instruction for the computer system. Question 237, ROM is a type of primary storage. State the characteristic of ROM that makes it a type of primary storage. So ROM is directly accessible by the CPU. That is why we call it primary storage. Question 238, explain why ROM is needed in a computer system. ROM stores the startup instruction, for example, BIOS program. These instructions are essential for booting the system. ROM is non-volatile, so the data is retained even when the computer is powered off. Question 239, the computer in a finance company uses both primary and secondary storage. Give one example of primary storage. So we have RAM, random access memory is an example of primary storage. We have ROM, it's also an example of primary storage, and the cache memory, that's also an example of primary storage. Question 240, random access memory RAM is an example of primary storage. Give three examples of data that is commonly stored in RAM. So RAM stores currently running data. It stores currently running instructions. It stores currently running parts of operating system. It stores currently running software. It stores currently running utility software. So everything that is currently running, it's stored in the RAM. Secondary storage. Question 242, state the purpose of secondary storage in a computer system. So the purpose of secondary storage is to store data and programs permanently. Question 243, a photographer needs to store a large number of high-resolution images. Give two examples of suitable secondary storage devices that can be used. Number one, hard disk drive or HDD. Number two, SSD or solid state drive. Number three, USB flash memory. Number four, DVD. Number five, CD. Number six, Blu-ray. So these are all devices that can be used to store that data. Question 244, state which component in the computer would store both types of software when the power is turned off. So hard disk drive or SSD. Question 245, the table contains statements about types of secondary storage. Complete the table by writing the correct type of secondary storage for each statement. Number one, pits and lands are created on a reflective surface, so that is this optical storage. NAND or NOR technology is used, so that is solid state or SSD. Trackers are spun that are divided into tracks and sectors, so that is magnetic storage. Electromagnets are used to read and write the data, so that's also magnetic storage. Transistors are used as control gates and floating gates, so that is solid state or SSD. A red or blue laser is used to read and write the data, so that is optical storage. Question 246. The photographer decides to purchase a solid-state storage device to back up their images. Complete the description of solid-state storage. Solid-state storage is non-volatile. This means that the data is not lost when the power is turned off. Solid-state storage is made of transistors that are laid out in a grid. Gates are used to control the flow of electrons through the transistor. This changes the data in the transistors from 1 to 0 or from 0 to 1. Question 247. 5 statements are shown about random access memory RAM and internal SSD solid-state drive and a USB flash memory drive. Pick to show which statement applies to each component. Some statement may apply to more than one component. Statement number 1, it's a type of primary storage, so only RAM is a type of primary storage. It is volatile, so RAM is volatile. Okay. Number 2, it uses NAND or NOR technology, so internal SSD and USB, they both uses the NAND and NOR technology. It does not have any moving parts, so RAM does not have any moving part, SSD does not have any moving part, and USB flash memory drive also does not have any moving parts. It is not directly connected to the CPU. So SSD and USB flash memory drive, these are the two storage devices that are not directly connected to the CPU. Question 248. A user has both system software and application software installed on their computer. State which component in the computer would store both types of software when the power is turned off. So hard disk drive, HDD, or solid state drive, SSD, or non-volatile memory, or you can also say the secondary storage. Question 249. A small business owner, Sarah, needs to store customers' data, sales record, and accounting information for a long-term access and backup. Describe the purpose of secondary storage in Sarah's business. So for permanently storage of files. Number 2, to store data that is not currently required by the CPU, to store the data to transfer it to another computer. Question 250. Describe how data is read from an optical storage device such as CD or DVD. Number 1. A laser beam is directed onto the disk surface. The laser detects pits and lands that present binary data. Reflected light is interpreted as ones and zeros. Question 251. Explain one reason why SSDs are preferred over HDDs in portable devices. Number 1, SSD have no moving parts, making them more durable. Number 2, this makes them less likely to fail when dropped or shaken. Topic 22. Virtual memory. Question 253. Some computers make use of virtual memory. State the purpose of virtual memory. So the purpose of virtual memory to compensate when there is not enough RAM to hold all currently running programs and data. Question 254. Name the type of storage used for virtual memory. So that is secondary storage. For example, your hard disk drive or SSD is used as virtual memory. Question 255. Describe what happens when a computer uses virtual memory. Part of the hard drive is used as an extension of RAM. Data not immediately needed is moved from RAM to virtual memory, and this frees up space in RAM for active processes. Question 256. A computer has pages A, B, and C that are stored in RAM. Page B needs to be sent to the RAM, but the RAM is full. Page B is not needed immediately. Explain how virtual memory can be used in this scenario. So RAM is full, so the page B is moved from RAM to the hard disk drive, okay, in the virtual memory. Then number 2, this free up space in the RAM, and page D is then moved from the hard disk drive into the RAM. And this process uses virtual memory. Question 257. What causes a computer to start using virtual memory? Option A, when the CPU is idle, when RAM is full. Option C, when there is too much free RAM. Option D, when the monitor is turned off. So the correct answer is option B, when RAM is full. Question 258. A computer system uses virtual memory to allow programs to use more memory than is physically available. Annotate your diagram to explain the process. So here is a diagram, and this diagram is usually exam. For example, you can see here 4 pages of data are sent to RAM, A, B, C, D. So we can think of those pages as individual programs. Okay, and this is the RAM, this is the CPU, and this is the hard drive. So when the RAM is full, it will send one program or one page that is less used to the virtual memory. Okay, and whenever user need that program again, it will get that back from the virtual memory to the RAM. 4 pages of data are sent to RAM, A, B, C, D. These are the 4 pages sent to the RAM, but the RAM can only hold 3 pages at the same time. So there are only space for 3 pages in the RAM. Page C isn't immediately needed, so it is sent to the virtual memory. This is the virtual memory, and page C is sent to the virtual memory. Page A is sent to the CPUs to be processed. Page C is now required, so it can be sent back to RAM. So it can be sent back to the RAM. That's how the visual memory works. Topic 23, cloud storage. Question 260 state what is meant by cloud storage. Cloud storage is a service that stores data on remote servers accessed over the internet. Question 261, name two popular examples of cloud storage services. So number one, we have iCloud, we have Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, and Baidu. Question 262, describe how a user can access their files stored in the cloud. So number one, the user logs into their cloud account via the internet. Number two, they can access files from any internet-enabled device. Files can be viewed, downloaded, or edited online depending on the permissions. Question 263, give one advantage of storing the photographs in cloud storage instead of storing them locally. So number one, access from any device. Number two, automatic backup. Number three, easy sharing. Number four, reduce the need for local storage space. Number five, security against local device failure, loss, or theft. Question 264. A photographer stores a large number of high-resolution photographs. Gave 5 disadvantages of storing these photographs in cloud storage compared to storing them locally on a personal computer or external hard drive. Number one, required internet access. Number two, reliance on third-party provider. Number three, security risks such as hacking. Number four, potential cost if storage limit exceeded. Number five, data privacy concerns. Topic 24, network hardware. Question 266. The photographs are also transmitted across the network to cloud storage. A device on the network forwards the data towards the correct destination. State the name of this device. So that's called the router. Question 267. Name the device in a computer that allows it to connect to a network. That's called NIC or network interface card. Question 268. 5 network terms or definitions are given in the table. Complete the table by giving the missing terms or definition. So number one, we have router. So what is a router? It's a device that forwards data packet between different networks. Number two, NIC or network interface card, a hardware component that allow a computer to connect to a network. IP address, a unique numerical label assigned to each device participating in a computer network using the Internet Protocol for communication. MAC address, a unique hardware address that identifies a specific device on a network. Static IP address, a fixed IP address that is manually assigned to a device and does not change. Dynamic IP address, an IP address that automatically assigned to a device each time it connects to a network. And the last term is ISP or Internet Service Provider, a company that provides access to the internet to individuals and organizations. Question 269, give the purpose of a router in the packet switching process. So number one, a router forwards packet between networks. Number two, a router examines the destination IP addresses. Number three, a router determines the best path for the packet. Number four, a router sends the packet to the next hop. Question 270. A computer is connected to a network and assigned an IPv4 address. Take one box to show which device would assign the IPv4 address to the computer. So option A is a domain name server or DNS. Option B, web server. Option C, network interface card or NIC. And option D, router or router. So the correct answer is option D, router.